everyone, and welcome to Community Spotlight, exclusively here on Astound ATVN. So glad you could join us. I'm Dan Mowdy. There is a gem of an organization in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. The Boys and Girls Club of Bethlehem has been in existence and is now celebrating 95 years of success in really making a difference in the lives of so many young people. We're very happy to have with us the executive director of this fine organization, Winston Alozie. Winston, welcome back to Community Spotlight.
Dan, thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be here with you and spending time with my friend.
Winston, thank you. It has been only a few years since we had you here before to talk about the great success of this club, and you've grown even more upon that success. Congratulations on that.
Thank you for that. Thank you. We have seen just in the past 3 years an increase of almost 90% in our membership, and then our average daily attendance, the amount of kids that walk through our doors, continues to grow each and every year. I don't know what we're doing right, but the kids seem to like it.
Absolutely. You know, you take a look back. I know you weren't with the organization all 95 years, but but 95 years. We're talking about not like one pandemic, but two pandemics, a few wars mixed in there, and Bethlehem's Boys and Girls Club survived and thrived.
It is beautiful to see, looking at our organization, those 95 years, you get to see a timeline of America. When we started, we were supporting the families of folks moving in during the tail end of the Industrial Revolution, families from Eastern Europe and from the Deep South moving to get jobs at Bethlehem Steel. And then you saw us becoming the Boys and Girls Club. You saw our members going off and fighting in Korea, fighting in World War II, fighting in Vietnam. You know, and then our members, you know, becoming part of the technological age. I'm a millennial, and so my age group was coming to the club when there was nothing to do, and was still coming to the club when we had dial-up internet at home.
Right.
And so to see the growth of an organization through all of those changes is a wonderful thing. I'm glad that we served those families then, and I'm glad that we can still be a place where kids can call home and hang out now.
Absolutely. And you know, I just heard in my ear the dial-up modem sound as you were mentioning dial-up internet. So many things have happened under your stay with the organization. Tell us about some of the highlights that you've enjoyed as the executive director, and even before that.
So in this role, 5 years. Prior to that was a program director for 10. And then prior to that, I was a kid that came through the Boys and Girls Club.
Nice.
And so I'm grateful for all of those opportunities. And I feel like each position that I've had, each interaction that I've had has prepared me to be where I'm at now. And so in these past 5 years, we've seen major improvements to our facility. Thanks to the Laros Foundation of Bethlehem and several others, we've been able to totally rebuild and retrofit a building HVAC system that goes back to 1969.
Wow.
You know, we were grateful that we had some very skilled engineers that were of our alumni that were helping keep things together. But part of that is that we kept together a system that outlived its lifespan. Yeah. Well past when it should have gone. And so we got to the point where we didn't have heat in the building. And so even our heating system was being held together with I kid you not, a number 2 pencil. And, you know, so having community partners help us in that way has been tremendous.
Absolutely.
And then, you know, just to see kids coming through and doing our programs. We have kids coming through for homework help with our Power Hour program. Continue to see that grow. Students from Moravian and Lehigh coming in to help with the kids after school. Just to see those relationships be fostered. The school district, the Bethlehem Area School District, sending kids, referring kids to the Boys and Girls Club. That was unheard of. Yeah. So we're growing well.
You know, we're very lucky to have great support from you folks as a community. You mentioned you're thankful for them supporting you. Let's take a look at some video that one of your key folks, Michal, sent to us to let you get a feel for what this is all about. This is Boys and Girls Club of the Lehigh Valley. And I love this video. This is probably one of the best grassroots video I've ever seen. There is so much activity going on here.
So you're seeing Power Hour in action, and some of our kids, and this is arts and crafts, our kids like to have a good time. Oh my goodness, we love it. We love it. I mean, and this is the beauty of it. You have kids at different ages, races, backgrounds coming together just to have fun. Yeah. And like here, this is the summertime, and this is a partnership with so many different folks. But kids getting to come in and just play and be and move and enjoy. That's not something in the day and age of iPads that you get to see. So we're grateful.
I was going to say, this is growing up like it used to be.
That's right. That's right. Good old-fashioned fun.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I understand that some of the great programs that you have are really making an impact in kids' lives. Power Hour program, tell us a little bit about that one.
So Power Hour homework completion, assistance with after school. Power Hour goes in tandem with our Project Learn program, which is dedicated tutoring in math and reading. We have STEM programming. We have arts and STEAM programming with Lehigh University, Moravian University. FlowServe, it's a company that does like valve controls. They send their employees who come and all these people donate of their time to help kids. We have, with our teen program, financial literacy programs through United Federal Credit Union and I think it was Gold Credit Union. They just went through a merger and acquisition, so their name changed. But we have community members who come in and teaching kids how to learn how to stretch a dollar, learn how to budget, learn how to save. And when we talk about the community, we can't do these things without having community partners that want to come in and share with our kids. But also having community support. So like even Astound, supported us with a $35,000 grant recently. These are things that help us continue to do the work that we do to serve the kids of the community. So we're grateful to do those things. We can't have Power Hour. We can't have Triple Play. The Iron Pigs and Phantoms support our Triple Play program, and Two Rivers Health and Wellness. Wow. So many people that help us do the things that we do. Absolutely, Winston. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, you've got a raft full of success stories to tell us about. I can't wait to hear. Stay with us on Community Spotlight. And you're back with us. We're talking about the Boys and Girls Club of Bethlehem in Pennsylvania. Learn more and maybe follow along at bgcob.org. Very happy to have the executive director of this fine organization, Winston Alozie, with us. Winston, we want to mention too that you've been on Fitz Drive for a really long time, conveniently located to 3 elementary schools in the Bethlehem School District system. That's right. We've been at that location since 1969. Wow. And as we shared, the Boys and Girls Club, 95 years, we were in South Bethlehem for 87 years. And even now, due to partnerships we have, we still run a summer program, thanks to Lehigh University, out in South Bethlehem, right on 4th Street. Ah, fantastic. Yes. The organization has had some success over the years. I think the man sitting to my right is a testament to that. Let me read off some of the other job descriptions and aspirations that folks that have come through the program have reached. U.S. Navy, yes, carpentry, lawyer. We've got a doctor, at least one anyway, a mayor, salon owner, and state trooper. I mean, you've got some alums that come back and support the organization because they know what it meant to them. Yes, yes, we're so grateful for that. A lot of times when people think of a Boys and Girls Club or just any type of after-school, out-of-school time program that serves traditionally the population that we serve, they think, well, how many kids aren't going to jail, or how many kids are you keeping off the street? And those numbers are important. That is an impact. Yeah. But we are building your next door neighbors. We are helping the community create great moms and dads and wonderful teachers. So when I think of doctors and lawyers, the Irizarry sisters, Corazon and Isis Irizarry, they have another sister, Paloma. But in particular, Corazon and Irizarry, Corazon is a doctor. I believe she's an OBGYN, but she's a doctor. Isis is a lawyer, just recently relocated back and is practicing law here in downtown Bethlehem. Excellent. I think of Matt Santiago, he and his brother, alumni of our Southside Club. Matt Santiago serves our country in the U.S. Navy, and is an intelligence officer in the Navy. We got Alex Figueroa, who serves our community as a Pennsylvania State Trooper. These are folks that are going out and doing things and being part of the community. And those are nice things, but then like my good friend Andrea, She has a salon in Southside Bethlehem, and it's doing wonderfully. They're doing an event for us, the Lehigh Valley Hair Show.
Wow.
My brother, he works in finance. My sister is a clinician in Erie County. And so I can go on and on about so many people and their wonderful and illustrious careers. We got doctors, we got lawyers, we got teachers. Willie Reynolds, the mayor, he grew up in our basketball program. There's so many people that are doing wonderful things.
Yeah.
But again, just creating those facets of our community, the clerk that you pay at the gas station, the person who signs you in at the doctor's office, the checker at the grocery store, all through the Boys and Girls Club.
Fantastic.
Great neighbors, great moms and dads, a person you can shake your hand with and say, nice to meet you. That's who's coming through our doors and coming through our programs.
You know, two things impress upon me as you mentioned this wonderful list of alums. First of all, that they have made the most out of everything that was there for them and then some. And secondly, that they have this giving aspect to their lives. And it didn't come from the ether. It came probably in part from Boys and Girls Club of Bethlehem.
I typically like to give that to their parents. A lot of our kids are coming from home situations where the parents are giving those foundational values.
Yeah.
But what I'm so grateful for is that parents trust the Boys and Girls Club enough that we get to be an extension of those values. We get to be extensions of home. Mm-hmm. And so we have an alumni network that continues to support our organization. And we're talking about the alumni of the club of the 1930s and 40s, those that are still around are still giving to this day.
Wow.
And even those who aren't giving, they've incorporated their children. We had a gentleman, Mr. Edwin Van Billiard, who started off working for the Boys and Girls Club of Bethlehem, built out what we had at the time, Camp Mohican. He has a daughter, Ruth, who is still living in her 90s, who contributes to the Boys and Girls Club.
Nice.
Those are things that you can't build that. And so we're grateful that people continue to do that. So our alumni today, any of our alumni who are out there, please, we are so grateful for you. So please continue to share of your gifts, of your time and your talents. That's another thing. A lot of our folks who come in and give of their time and talents are alumni. They come, we have a career launch program. They're coming in and they're talking about what it is that they do. Mm-hmm. So if ever you want to come in, Dan, you let me know. We'll have you come and talk to the kids.
I appreciate that. There's some show hosts here who would probably be better choices, but I appreciate you considering me. Thank you very much,
No
Winston.
problem.
And as far as what the kids get from when the alums come back, do you see the sparkle in their eye and maybe a few of them at least are like, I think I can do that someday?
We have a program. Our teen director, Genesis Velasquez, has created this opportunity called Teen Night. And so one Friday a month, we have the kids come in, there's a pizza party, there's basketball, there's video games, they get all of that, but then we have a speaker come in, traditionally an alumni, but not relegated to them. One of our alumni, Christian Cologne, he's like a year or two younger than that. He and Miguel, one of my counterparts at the club, went to school together. And Christian and I, we grew up in the neighborhood together. I've known him since my family moved to Bethlehem. He's a lawyer in Philadelphia. He came and spoke to those kids, had them captivated because he could tell his story. Growing up in Yasco Park, growing up, under the eyes and under the tutelage of neighborhood drug dealers. Growing up to being a kid who found his niche in football, but didn't want to grow up and be an NFL player. He wanted to give back to his community and found that law was where he wanted to go. These are the stories that we have, and when folks come in and speak to those kids and engage them, it's amazing that kids can see themselves in the stories of the alumni or in the stories of those who share, but then also get to see themselves as, I can do that too.
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of let folks in on what's going to be coming up in this next segment, how you can become a part of the Boys and Girls Club of Bethlehem, and some of the ways that you can really be a part and make a difference in young people's lives. Stay with us. We'll have that all and more right here on Community Spotlight. And you're back with us here on Community Spotlight. In focus, the Boys and Girls Club of Bethlehem. You can learn more about them now or even after the show is over at bgcob.org. Winston Alozie is the executive director there and kind enough to join us for this half hour. Winston, we talked about the success stories and the giving back that goes on from some of these folks who are notable in and outside of our Lehigh Valley community here. But even if you're not a product of the Boys and Girls Club of Bethlehem, you can still be a part of the scene.
That's correct. We are so grateful that our community, through businesses, donate, wonderful foundations donate, but our bread and butter, our livelihood comes from people in the community that believe in our mission and donate of their time, talent, and treasure to the Boys and Girls Club. So if you have the financial resources to donate, we're always appreciative of doing so. Mm-hmm. The QR code is on the screen. If that's something that you're into, please feel free to look up our information. That's what helps support the programming that we do. So please consider donating. Outside of donating money, we're always looking for volunteers, whether it's a greeter at the door, helping with homework. If you want to help kids figure out how to read and do math, and you didn't flip your lid when you had to do it with your own children, come on by to the Boys and Girls Club. Come to the Boys and Girls Club. But we're always looking for folks to give of their time. We're so blessed in Lehigh Valley, the rich athletic history that we have, and with the programming that we do. Anybody who wants to come and do basketball, shoot around with the kids, or kick around soccer ball, we're open to that. If you want to teach a cooking class, you have the time, come on through. Yeah. And even if you don't have like a thing that you know how to do, you just want to share of your time, we're there. And to do that whole process, you can go on our website again, or you can call into the office. We can go through getting your clearances, going through the trainings involved to work with children and do all of that. But we don't get to have the impact that we have without the community. And that's what we're so grateful to the community. To those who donate, we thank you. Yeah.
And here's a hook too for folks that maybe feel like, I don't have a minute in my day. Yeah. Well, you've got these two big fundraisers that only two throughout the year. That's not asking much. Yes. But they sound interesting, especially since one starts with the word steak.
Yes.
Like sizzling steak.
I haven't had lunch. Don't get me started. Our steak and burger dinner is one of our, I think this might be year 35 of doing that event. Great opportunity for our community of supporters to learn about the Boys and Girls Club, to see our impact, and to actually have dinner with the kids. It's always an awesome opportunity. So anybody who's able and willing, that's a great event.
Sounds amazing. Steak and burger in September. And then planning not that far ahead, in June, the annual golf outing.
Oh, planning for that's already started this month. Wow. We're in Easton at the Riverview Country Club. Awesome opportunity. If you golf, get your foursome together. But the golf outing is a great opportunity to get yourself involved in what we're doing, if you have a business, to get your business out there, but another opportunity to meet our kids and to support the Boys and Girls Club.
Absolutely. And there's probably a little bit of business networking that goes on.
Of course.
You'll have this. You can't help it.
But, and again, it's a great opportunity. Our alumni that own businesses come, people who have never heard of a Boys and Club learn of what we do, and not only are they impacted, they want to become part of the impact. Yeah. So it's a great opportunity for the community to get their hands and feet wet in the mission of the Boys and Girls Club.
Absolutely. Winston, I have to hand it to you for being a great collaborator. You probably don't have a spare moment in your day.
My wife would probably agree with you.
Executive director of this fine organization, Bethlehem Area School District Board of Directors, and raising a family as well.
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir. Let me ask you, as far as what folks can do, in similar situations, what's the one thing that they should take away from this show?
I think what your viewers should take away from this show is that it is easy to be part of the community. And whether that's giving up an hour of your time or $1 of your treasure, seeing value in the community, seeing value in the children helps build our community. No man is an island. You don't get there on your own. You don't get there on your own. And whether it's having those adults that help you, having those peers who push you to be better, that's what builds the fabric of our community. And so I don't get to be the person that I am, and I'm so grateful to God to do the work that I do in the various ways that I do it because I had that community sense at the Boys and Girls Club as a kid.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the folks that you work with at Bethlehem, at the Boys and Girls Club of Bethlehem?
These people are extensions of my family. We have the program staff, which actually 4 of our 6 employees are alumni of the club. Our team director grew up in the club. Like I remember her as a young person growing up in the club.
Wow.
Scott and Lisa, our program team, have been with the club 35 years, each of them individually. Scott even started working as a young man at the club, you know, helping out, cleaning up. He used to earn like a nickel pushing a broom around back in the 60s and 70s, or the 70s. Miguel, our director of development and communications, he and I, we're a year apart in age. He grew up in the Boys and Girls Club. And so these are the folks that are working with kids, people who understand the mission.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I can't leave out Tracy, our office manager. She didn't grow up in the club, but she has started her career working with young people and knows nonprofits, and that girl is my godsend.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for her.
There's the contact information up on the screen on being a volunteer, making a donation, finding out more. It's all there for you.
Yes.
At Boys and Girls Club of Bethlehem. And the future, looking good, I would imagine. Of course, I don't know if people realize, you mentioned a few grants, and you know, truly the organization is blessed, but at the end of the year, it starts all over again. And here we are at the beginning of the next year.
Correct. And so, you know, I don't want to make it seem like, you know, this whole time with you is a plea to receive funds, but it's important for us to remind folks that we are not a government-only subsidiary. We do get a couple dollars of federal and state of government money, but it's really because the community believes in our mission. So I can't say enough how grateful I am to the local foundations, the local grants, the local businesses, and the people of our community who donate of their dollars. You don't have to. People don't have to, and they do. And it's so wonderful. I mean, we have a $650, I think this year's closer to $680,000 budget of things we got to pay for to keep the lights on, to keep it warm I mean, right now as we're shooting, we're in the single digits. We got to keep that building warm for the kids. That costs money.
Absolutely. Winston Alozie, thank you so much for being here.
Dan, thank you.
It's been a privilege and a pleasure to chat about the Boys and Girls Club of Bethlehem with you. Well done work. Well done. Glad you could join us. This is Community Spotlight. I'm Dan Mowdy. Good night, everybody.